Chaim Weizmann, one of the founding fathers of Israel and head of the General Zionist movement, was sworn in as the first president of the new Jewish state at a historical moment in 1949. The man in the famous photo in the Jewish Agency building was credited with helping to create some of the most historic institutions in Israel, including the Hebrew University and Weizmann Institute of Science. It was against the backdrop of this photo laden with men in the same room that symbolized the strength of the young state that in 2024, Flor Hassan Nahum was installed as the first female Secretary General of the World Confederation of United Zionists, a faction of Kol Israel, the ideological successor of the General Zionists.
The historical value is what it is. It's historical. We don't need to rewrite history. We can embrace it for what it was. The challenge is, do we learn from history? Do we make the changes? Do we be more inclusive? Can we find a way to give voice and give opportunities to those who are incredibly talented, who deserve those opportunities? That's the opportunity that we have today. And men need to find ways to step aside.
Flor, the former deputy mayor of Jerusalem, was born in London, raised in Gibraltar, and is a lawyer by training, and has been at the fore of initiating women in business forums since she moved to Israel in 2001. A political and media personality, she shared with the Media Line her newest title and challenge.
I think we're in a critical juncture in Israel. We're here for 75 years, we're going on 76 years. And we've had sovereignty over our land before, twice, but we've never got past the 80-year mark because of internal divisions. This is the moment to unite the Jewish people, not just in Israel, but around the world. So people understand that we're one family, we're one people. We have the same enemies, and we will prevail only if we can get together and we can really focus on what unites us and focus on the task ahead.
The Zionist movement was born out of the need to create and strengthen the state of Israel from outside of Israel.
So there are 11, believe it or not, political parties in the Zionist world. But when it comes to Zionism, and when it comes to how we're going to make this country better and how we're going to increase the relationship and strengthen it between those who are outside of Israel and those who are inside, vote Kol Yisrael. That's where it comes in. That's how we can make the impact that we make. And we do that through the national institutions. We're standing right now in the building of the Jewish Agency and Keren Kayemet Israel and the World Zionist Organization. They're endowed with the funds of the Jewish people. We help manage those funds, and those funds are determined based on how people vote.
Ya'ari, like Flor, sees unity as one of the key needs that Israel must focus on, but he also wants a constitution.
We've talked for so long, but it's in moments of great crisis that you have opportunity. And this is our moment to seize that opportunity and to put forth ideas for a constitution for the country that include the rights that expand on the Declaration of Independence. We need to do reforms. Reform by itself is not a bad thing. It's how it's done.
As diaspora Jews are grappling with rampant anti-Semitism, the relationship between Jews inside and outside Israel is being tested.
I'm not going to solve the problems of academia. What I can do is I call this Pilates. We can strengthen our core. We can speak to students. We can speak to professors, we can speak to donors, we can speak to parents, and we can say this is unacceptable. And I may not be able to change the world, but educators work one by one. And we need to have, and that's why it's so important that we have a strong Zionist vision and a strong Zionist movement in order to show that this is about the body and the soul. And we will not let them define us.
Zionism has been hijacked by our haters, by our detractors, and instead of it being interpreted as the most exciting decolonization project of the last 100 years, it's been given all sorts of dirty baggage in order to discredit it. Every movement which changes the status quo, Jews were victims, Jews were powerless, Jews were stateless. Zionism changed our status quo. There's always going to be a counter movement. And let's not be confused that the counter movement is simply anti-Semitism in a new way. The way that 500 years ago anti-Semitism was religious and my family were kicked out of Spain as a result. 100 years ago it was ethnic. And that's why the Holocaust happened. Today, it's about the collective, about the Jewish collective, about our national homeland. And this is the ill of today. And that's why Zionism has been delegitimized. But it is our job to rebrand it, to bring the innovation in Zionism, and to bring the Jewish people together behind that.
Looking ahead, Ya'ari weighed in on how to bridge the gap between Jews abroad and Jews in Israel.
It could be as simple as reimagining college education. Could be as simple as inviting Jews to come here and study here in English. It could be as simple as creating better programs to deal with anti-Semitism.
Herculean tasks lay ahead for the first woman stepping into Chaim Weizmann's shoes. Fleur Hassan Nahum has just become the Secretary General of the World Confederation of United Zionists. Behind me, a wall of men. It's a game changer, and it'll be interesting to see what happens as she moves forward in this organization at a very important time for the State of Israel.
Well, I think I hope that he would be proud that an immigrant like me managed to also be able to lead the Jewish people at our moment in crisis.
From Jerusalem, Felice Friedson reporting for the Media Line.